Hello from quarantine. I just wanted to say hello and introduce you to this tutorial. This will be our distance learning for my fashion class, but feel free to share this to whoever you feel like could help make masks. So that being said, we're going to make masks today, face masks. You do not need a sewing machine, although I am using one in this tutorial, as you'll see, but I know a lot of you guys have needle and thread, so you can use that. If you don't have fabric, I would just suggest you use some kind of woven fabric like this. So like an old dish towel, maybe, that could be good, or I don't know, old sheets or something. Make sure you wash them first, of course. I'll go through exactly what you need, but I just wanted to say hello, and I miss you guys, and I'll see you soon. Hi everyone. Okay, so today we are going to make a face mask. This is the stuff you'll need: a pattern. If you're not able to get a printout from school, I will upload this as a PDF on Google Classroom. I will also tell you all like your supplies and everything needed, but I'll also go through it right now. So you'll need this guy. If you don't have a printer, I didn't either. I forgot to bring home like paper even, so I just grabbed some like scratch paper and traced it from my computer screen. If you don't have that, hopefully you at least have a ruler. I've put measurements here that you can follow along. And just trace and kind of finagle your way. If not, don't worry about it. This is, again, optional, something fun that you can actually use in real life in these scary times that we're living in. So besides this pattern, I have here a friction pen or a friction pen. Where's the camera? I know they come in highlighters and stuff too. This is for marking the fabric. So you don't have to have this. You can just use a pen or a pencil or something that will wash out in the washer. But I like these. It's kind of like a hack because if you iron it or steam it, it disappears in heat. They're like those erasable pens or whatever. I have regular scissors and I have fabric scissors. It's important that we have both, but if you don't, it's okay. Just make it work. I also have two fabrics. One's going to be the fashion fabric outside that you're going to see in the mask portion, and then I have one as a lining. So let's get started. Oops, one more thing I forgot. Of course, you need a sewing machine or a needle and thread, but also elastic. So I just have elastic thread. I think, when you're putting it around your ears or something, this is really, really thin. If you can see, it's thread that is elastic. So I feel like this will be easier to, maybe not easier to use, but easier on your ears. So yeah. Okay, so I've cut out this pattern here just so that I have another ways to show you, and I can upload this guy on, oh sorry, that was my Alexa. I can upload this guy onto Google Classroom for you as a resource. So let me just kind of go over this. This is what you'll see. So if you see here, this is the pattern. So just like I did, you're going to cut out this outermost line. Again, I've given you the dimensions. If you don't have a printer, you can kind of finagle it, maybe trace it from your computer if you have one, or just see how it looks with the curves and all that. It doesn't have to be perfect, just try your best. So this is the pattern. This is what we will be using to help guide us cut out our fabrics. So these two lines, I've made them in different colors. This what seems to be red line, it says cut to, and the line goes from this end all the way to this longer end. So what this means is after you cut it out, you're gonna cut 2 pieces of fabric, and this longer piece will be what is being seen on the outside of your mask. This top line is the shorter portion. You're gonna cut 2 as well, but it's only gonna be this shorter version. Now don't cut out 2 of this bigger one and then cut off this piece. You can just save this pattern. If you want to use it again, you can fold it over along that line and then cut it out, okay? And then again, if you want to make another one, you can use this same pattern. You don't have to waste paper. Okay, so we're gonna start to cut out the fabric. So if you're like me, I really don't like pinning things because it takes so long. You have to put it in and then take it all out. So what I do is I just take something heavy. People use like fishing weights or other things, and then I'm just going to use that and cut to trace this guy. So this again is my fashion fabric. I folded it over so that when I do cut out the fabric that I need, I am cutting 2, because again we need 2 of this pattern. Oh dear. And again, it's okay that I am writing or tracing on the fabric, because this will become invisible. Oops. And realistically we'll be sewing it, so you won't be seeing it anyway. Okay, so if you see I have my line here, I'm going to carefully cut out both pieces of fabric. Again, this part you really need to be careful. It needs to be perfect because you're going to be sewing these together. You don't want it all lumpy. Oh dear, this is difficult. I'll be back. Okay, so here is my lining fabric. So again, I'm going to take my pattern and fold over that line, right on the line. And I'm gonna line up this fabric so I'm not wasting. And if you remember, again, I hate ironing too, so our trick of just using your nail to iron out this edge here to make kind of more of a straight edge. And then again, I'm going to take my hand sanitizer weight. Let's use a different color because this has black as the background. You can also use chalk if you have, or even sometimes I use like a metallic Sharpie. I don't think I have any though. I forgot to grab a lot of stuff from my classroom, so as Tim Gunn says, make it work. I don't know if you're too young for that, but you get it. All right, I'm gonna cut this out and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my 2 pieces that I need, one that is longer for the outer or fashion fabric, and then one that is smaller to serve as our lining. What you're going to do is you're going to face right sides together. Right sides meaning what you want to be facing the outside. The first thing that we're going to stitch together is this curved edge, and it's going to be at 1/8 seam allowance. Okay, so I'm gonna start sewing. Again, you can hand stitch this. I suggest if you were in my class, we did a back stitch. I will link that also in your Google Classroom. But for stitching, hand stitching, or with a sewing machine, you we're gonna do a 1/8 inch seam allowance. So I kind of marked that for myself. Again, this is gonna be the inside where nobody sees. It's going to be in between the fashion fabric and the lining, so nobody will see it. So you can just kind of mark that off for yourself if you're nervous. I didn't do a really good job, sorry, but so I'm just going to sew this. Again, I don't like pinning, so I'm just going to be mindful and hold my 2 pieces of fabric together and make sure that they're not touching. I mean, not touching, what am I saying? They're not like moving around like all weird. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it together. So I'm gonna go and then a few stitches. Remember, I'm holding this guy down. You don't wanna do that or else it'll get all messed up. Or if you don't hold this down as you're going, you're gonna get all messed up in the back. And then after a few stitches, I'm back stitching. I'm holding down the reverse thing. Here you can't see it, it's off camera. And I'm gonna go back, and that kind of secures the stitches in place. And then I'm going to go forward to sew the rest of the front, what will become the front of the mask, all the way to the end. Once I get to the end, I'm going to backstitch again, but you'll see. Again, I'm making sure that my pieces of fabric are very even and one on top of the other. Back stitch again. Oh no, did I run out of bobbin thread? Oh dear. Okay, so I ran out of bobbin thread. It happens. Have a new one. So when that happens, this is a good teaching moment. You want to, so if you run out, it obviously will just kind of stop, because again, as we've explained, or as I've explained in class, like the top thread and the bottom thread kind of make a loop-de-doop. And catch each other, and that's how these things stay together. So if you don't have bobbin thread, it just kind of like doesn't do anything. So if you see here, this is where I ran out of thread. There's no back stitching here, so I'm gonna have to go over it, maybe like a few stitches, and then back stitch again, and then kind of restart where it was. Again, I'm holding this. I'm not slamming down my foot. I'm holding this guy as I'm going the first few stitches. I'm making sure that my fabric is aligned, one on top of the other. There's no edges that are kind of coming out. I'm back stitching now. I just back stitched once I got to the edge. So I'm going to do the same thing with my lining fabric. Okay, so here are 2 outside fabric and lining that have been sewn together. So again, it's right sides facing together, so we want to now connect the lining to the outside. Again, right sides facing together. So we're going to open it up. We're going to align this seam that we just made. And even though I don't like pinning, I'm going to have to pin. This is kind of, because it's like a weird shape, it's not flat. It just helps. So I'm going to pin, oh sorry, can you see that? I'm going to pin right at that seam. Oh dear. We're going to sew along the top and bottom. You want to line it up to the middle, obviously, because if you line it up to the edge, this one's like bigger, so it won't line up. I'm just going to do another one kind of in the middle here. And this is why it's important to cut really straight or according to the pattern, because you want all these things to line up perfectly, which they do, yay. So I'm going to do the same on the bottom here, and then what we're going to do is sew again 1/8 of an inch on the top and bottom, and then you're going to have like a little tunnel. You're going to flip it right side out, kind of like a sock. Okay, that top angle, I don't know if you saw that. It's a little bit weird because it comes to a point. So I just lifted my foot up a little bit so I could maneuver the mask. I'm gonna bring it down, bring the needle down with the roller. Sorry, I forgot what it's called. Okay, so again, as I've said, I sewed these right side together on the top and the bottom. So now I'm gonna roll it inside out, or right side out, sorry, like a sock. And it should look like more of a mask. Okay, so if you see here, from joining these two things together, we have this little flap guy. So what I did was, because again, I don't have an iron, so sometimes I like to use my nails, sometimes I like to use like the scissors. Be careful though to kind of like fold it down and have that really like sharp crease. And then this will help as well. So this should be 3/8 of an inch, I believe, here. And you're gonna fold it over again, and then again I'm just using the scissors to kind of iron it because I don't have one. Okay, this step is optional, but I was kind of noticing that the edges were fraying and I didn't want it to get worse if I wash this, or if you guys wash yours in the washer dryer for sanitation. So I did a zigzag stitch just to kind of hold this down and also prevent more fraying. So it doesn't really change anything. It's optional again, but you can do that if you want. So again, I'm gonna fold this over like this, and then kind of reinforce my folds. Okay, now I'm gonna do an edge stitch. So again, I folded this over, and then you're just gonna sew right along this edge. That's what an edge stitch is. It's pretty self-explanatory. We want this little loop. We want a hole in here. Oh, sorry. We want a hole or like a tunnel in here for our elastic. Okay, so here is what I have so far. This is the lining, although now I feel like I kind of like this as the outside. I guess it's reversible. So I've made these, I've tacked these down or sewed these down so that we have a tube. I'm gonna pull the elastic through this, and I'll show you a hack. Okay, so my hack was supposed to be the safety pin method, where you like tie this to a safety pin and then kind of thread it through like a needle, but I can't find any, so I just made this hack up. So I just got tape and I'm taping it to the end of this elastic. Hopefully it works. I don't know. I was thinking like maybe, you know how like sweaters strings have that, or like shoelaces have that hard part. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, seems to kind of be working. So I'm just wiggling it along like an inchworm through the tunnel. Yay! Okay, so this I'm gonna tie off and kind of like fit it to my ear. I'll do it on both sides first, cutting enough or more than enough for me to measure it to my ear and kind of like cut it. What am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so a couple things. I found safety pins, yay. It's so much easier with safety pins. Sorry if you're using my tape hack, but whatever. Also, one thread of this is really not gonna do anything when I was trying it on, so I kind of doubled it up and this seems to be working better. But it's just kind of a back and forth. So I'm gonna redo this side. But yeah, it's just kind of a back and forth now. I'm trying it on, making it tighter or looser, whatever. Okay, so here is my finished product as you saw in the beginning of the video. Here's what I ended up doing. I didn't like the ear straps like just going in a loop, so I made it like the long version so it goes over your head. So I'll show you how to do it. This is also the one in Mama G's one. I thought the ear one would be better, but she was right. Okay, so you have to like kind of put it over your head like that and it stretches out, and then you take the top one. Oops. This works, I promise. There. This goes like around your neck, and then you take the top string and you can go over your head. So I like this one better because it's a little bit more comfortable, and because I was using the, can you hear me? Because I was using the what is it called? Ouch. Elastic thread. I felt like it wasn't holding behind my ears, but you can kind of like test it out, problem solve, different ways that you like it. If you don't have elastic, I was also thinking you could maybe just use like an old shoelace or some kind of string or something, or even make like sew a little string for this, and then you can like tie it behind your head or something. I don't know. So show me what you come up with. I'm excited to see your designs. Again, this is optional, but I thought it would be kind of fun and applicable, something to get your mind off everything, but something that you can also use. So I will see you in our next video. Bye.